Good morning, children. So, in our class today, we are going to have revision for Unit Test 1. Portion for our test is from history, you will write when, where, and how. And from geography, you will have the earth and the solar system. Only 2 lessons from history, when, where, and how. And from geography, the earth and the solar system. Question pattern. Part 1, choose the correct answers. It will come for 3 marks. And part 2, fill in the blanks. That also will come for 3 marks. Part 3, true or false, and that is for 3 marks. Fourth one, distinguish between the following, which means finding differentiation between the following things. That is given for 4 marks. And short answers for 8 marks, detailed answers for 4 marks. On the whole, it comes for 25 marks. Let's first revise the chapter when, where, and how from history. We have seen this lesson elaborately in our previous classes itself. We'll have a quick revision now. We get to know about how early humans lived and progressed over thousands of years. Scientists believe that humans came into existence about 2 lakh years ago, based on the remains and signs they have found. Study of history is divided into 3 parts: the ancient history, the medieval history, the modern history. So children, we get to know about the early humans' life over thousands of years, how they lived, all these things in our history. And scientists, based on the remains and signs left behind before years, they are having all those remains and signs for reference and believing that humans came into existence about 2 lakh years ago. And study of history is divided into 3 parts. As we know, they are the ancient history, the medieval history, and the modern history. In the ancient history, we studied the time between 5 lakh BC to 800 AD. BC and AD terms to measure time. BC before Christ, AD Anno Domini. To calculate the difference between dates in BCE and CE, we add both the years. It tells us how many years were there between these 2 years. In India, humans first settled on the banks of 3 big rivers. They are the Indus, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra. So in the ancient history, we are studying about the time between 5 lakh BC to 800 AD. What are those BC and AD? Of course, they are the terms to measure time. BC refers to before Christ, and AD refers to Anno Domini, after the birth of Jesus Christ. BC is before the birth of Jesus Christ, and AD is after the birth of Jesus Christ. And for calculating the time difference between BCE and CE, which means BC is called as BCE, CE is called as AD is called as CE. So to calculate the time difference between BCE and CE, we add both the years given, and it tells us how many years were there between these 2 years. In India, humans first settled on the banks of 3 big rivers. Those 3 big rivers are the Indus, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra. Mighty kingdoms like Magadha emerged in the Indo-Gangetic plain. Himalayas in the north separates India from Central Asia and protects it from the cold winds. People moved from place to place for various reasons. So children, here Magadha kingdom, that is a mighty kingdom, a very big kingdom, they emerged into the Indo-Gangetic plain in previous years. And Himalayas in the north, it separates India from Central Asia and it protects India from the cold winds. And in the early ages, people moved from place to place. They were not at all staying in a particular place. They were moving from place to place for various reasons. Those reasons are, they went in search of food, and because of natural disasters like floods and famines, they had to shift to other places. Religious leaders, they were moving to other places to spread their teachings, to preach about their religious things. Traders, they were moving to sell their goods to faraway places. And kings, they sent their armies to conquer land, to catch other lands. People traveled to discover new lands. We all know that history is formed on the basis of things which are remnants of the past. Remnants means a piece of something that's left after the rest has gone. Archaeologists, they recover objects by digging objects from sites that get buried under the earth. So the study of all these remains of buildings, pottery, weapons, tools, ornaments, bones, grains, remains of plants, all these are called as archaeology. They used to study about all these things. These objects which are recovered by the archaeologists are tested by scientists through a process called carbon dating. After that, sociologists, they connect things recovered in similar times and locations to see the connection between them and help us to understand how things probably happened in those times. And then historians record the history in a systematic manner so that people could read and understand the past. So four types of people are involved in this: archaeologists, scientists, sociologists, and then historians. Various sources are needed to study history. There are three categories of sources. First one is literary sources, the next one is archaeological sources, the next one is accounts of foreign travelers. In the early ages, people used to write on the bark of birch tree or palm leaves. Those things are called as manuscripts. Manuscripts are divided into two categories. They are religious and secular. Example for religious literature is the Purnas, the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Tripitakas, etc. And for secular is Arthashastra written by Chanakya, plays written by Kalidasa, and so on. After manuscripts, we learn about inscriptions. What are inscriptions? Inscriptions are records engraved mostly on rocks, stone pillars, walls, and on metal slabs. These are the most reliable evidence to know about the past. Studying about these inscriptions is called epigraphy. For example, Emperor Ashoka inscriptions, they used to tell us about his Dhamma. Then we see about coins. Studying about coins is known as numismatics, and the metals used in the coins tell us about the economic condition of a particular empire and their knowledge of metallurgy. If you take for example King Samudragupta's coin, which means in one of the gold coin, King Samudragupta is shown playing a veena. It tells us how much he loved music, his interest in music. Then we learn about monuments. Monuments consist of buildings, stupas, caves, temples, etc. They are valuable as they tell us about the art and architecture, religious and cultural life of the people of the period in which they were built. If we take for example Indica written by Megasthenes, it gives us valuable information about the Mauryan Empire. And then accounts of Fa Hien and Hien Sang, they tell us about the socio-economic and religious situation in India in the 5th and 7th century CE. So far we have seen what's given in the lesson, when, where and how from history. Now we'll see the question answers that is given in the same lesson. First we'll start with choose the correct answers. Take your books and check whether the answers that you have written in your notebook is right or not. If not, correct it and learn for exam. First question. The study of history is divided into 3 periods. The study of history is divided into 3 periods. The time period for the study of ancient history is 5 lakh BCE to 800 CE. The kingdom of Magadha emerged in the Indo-Gangetic plain. The kingdom of Magadha emerged in the Indo-Gangetic plain. Trade with Rome took place through sea route. Trade with Rome took place through sea route. Before the invention of paper, people used to write on palm leaf as well as bark of birch tree. There are 2 options: palm leaf, bark of birch tree. Both the answers are right. Epigraphy is the study of inscriptions. Epigraphy is the study of inscriptions. Inscriptions of King Ashoka tell us about his Dhamma. Inscriptions of King Ashoka tell us about his Dhamma. The study of coins is called numismatics. Indica was written by Megasthenes. Indica was written by Megasthenes. We'll now move on to fill in the blanks. The first question. The birth of Dash is taken as the reference point from where historians count dates. Answer is Jesus Christ, which means the birth of Jesus Christ is taken as the reference point from where historians count dates. Next one. What was written by Chanakya? Arthashastra was written by Chanakya. The next one, study of inscriptions is called epigraphy. Fourth one, inscriptions of King Ashoka tell us about his Dhamma. Inscriptions of King Ashoka tell us about his Dhamma. Most of the inscriptions are written in Brahmi, Prakrit and Sanskrit languages. Metals used in the coins tell us about the economic condition of a particular empire. Dash are buildings of historical importance. Monuments are buildings of historical importance. Dash was written by Megasthenes. Indica was written by Megasthenes. Accounts written by Fa Hien and Hein Sang tell us about the socio-economic and religious situation in India in the 5th and 7th century CE. State whether true or false. First one, all dates after the birth of Christ are counted backwards. Answer is false, because the dates after the birth of Jesus Christ are counted forward. Second one, the Himalayas separate India from Europe. Answer false, because it separates India from Central Asia. Third one, the Puranas and the Vedas are the examples of literary sources. True. Fourth one, sociologists record the history in a systematic way. True. In one of the gold coins, King Samudragupta is shown playing the tabla. False, because King Samudragupta is shown playing a veena. Account of Megasthenes give us valuable information about King Harsha. Answer is false, because account of Megasthenes give us valuable information about Mauryan Empire. Next we'll see find the names. Read the sentence and find the appropriate names for the sentences given. First one, the people who dig up the earth to find the remains of the past buried under it. Answer is archaeologists. Second one, the structured study of the events that happened in the past. Answer, history. The powerful kingdom that emerged in the Indo-Gangetic plains. Answer, Magadha kingdom. Fourth one, the thing commonly written on the bark of birch tree. Answer is manuscripts. Fifth one, the person who is shown on the coins playing a veena. Answer is King Samudragupta. Sixth one, the thing found engraved on the rocks and pillars. Answer, inscriptions. Seventh, the study of coins. Answer, numismatics. Eighth, the person who wrote Indica. Answer, Megasthenes. Ninth one, the people who study inscriptions. Answer, epigraphy. Answer the following questions briefly and in detail. I have given only the questions here because you all have written your answers in the classwork note. So take your note and revise with me. First question, calculate the time period between 460 BCE and 1783 CE. You all know that for calculating the years, you need to add both the years. So if we add both the years, we will get 2183 years. That is the answer. Second question, what's the significance of the Himalayas in the history of India? Answer is, importance of Himalayas are, it protects India from cold winds. The passes in the mountains helped in the movement of traders and developments in the field of culture and ideas. Third one, why have manuscripts not survived? Answer, quite a few manuscripts have not survived because of sites. They have been eaten by insects. Fourth one, what is religious literature? Give examples. Religious literature is mostly religious in nature and doesn't contain definite date for events and kings. For example, the Puranas, the Vedas, the Upanishads and the Tripitakas, etc. Write down the importance of coins in the study of history. So the answer is, coins help us to know about the rule and the extent of the ruler. Metals used in the coins tell us about the economic condition of an empire. The next one, answer the following in detail. How do archaeologists, scientists, sociologists and historians help in reconstructing the past? So how do archaeologists do? They dig out the old sites and take out the objects from the sites. Scientists, they chemically test the objects recovered by archaeologists by the process called carbon dating. Sociologists, they used to tries to connect things recovered in similar times and locations to understand the inner connection between them and builds up a story of the past. Historians, they study about these stories and records it in a systematic way so that people can understand the past. Children, we have completed revising the chapter when, where and how from history. Now we'll see the lesson, the earth and the solar system from geography. We all know that our sun is much closer to us than the other star. Light from the sun that takes about 8 minutes to reach the earth, but light that comes from the other nearest stars, it takes several years to reach us. Stars, what are stars? They are nothing but they are giant balls of hot gas just like our sun. And the universe, when we study about the universe, it includes all the celestial bodies. Celestial bodies are also called as heavenly bodies. So the universe includes all the heavenly bodies, animals, plants, minerals, gases, everything that we can see, feel or sense. When we learn about nebula, nebula is a very huge mass of gas and dust. It's actually nebula that created all the heavenly bodies. All stars are formed by nebula. So it is called the mother of all stars and heavenly bodies. Stars are a huge mass of burning gases. They emit light and heat. Some stars, they have a similarity in their position and movement, so they look like fixed patterns in the sky. Such patterns are called constellation and they have been given different names also. In Hindi, the constellation Ursa Major, that is known as Saptarishi. The meaning of Saptarishi is 7 sages. Many constellations like the sun and all these stars that you see at night they together form one galaxy. There are millions of stars in this patch. This belt of stars is a galaxy. And this galaxy is known as the Milky Way. In Hindi, this galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, is known as Akash Ganga. It's also called as Akash Ganga in Hindi. Planets are the celestial bodies which are solid in nature and they revolve around a star. Planets are of many sizes, many different sizes. They don't have their own light or heat. Either they reflect the light of the star they revolve around. The sun is the closest star to our earth. The sun is the huge ball of burning gases. Sun emits a lot of heat and light in all directions. The sun, along with its set of 8 planets and other natural objects moving around it, are jointly referred to as system called the solar system. There are 8 planets in the solar system. They are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. We'll learn about all these 8 planets now. First we'll learn about Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. Venus is the second planet from the sun. It's also known as the twin of the earth. Next, about Earth. Earth is the third planet from the sun. It's also called the blue planet as from far above in the sky it looks blue in color due to the large amount of water in it. Earth is not absolutely spherical in shape. It's like a flattened ball, slightly bulging in the middle and slightly flat at the top and bottom. This shape is called a geoid shape. So the earth is like a geoid shape. Mars is the fourth planet from the sun and it's also called the red planet due to the large presence of red oxides in its soil. Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. All these planets are made of rocks. They are called the inner planets. Beyond these 4 planets, beyond these inner planets, there is a ring of asteroids which are like smaller rocks and stones moving around. This is also known as the asteroid belt. And there are 4 other planets that is out of these inner planets. They are called as outer planets. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the sun and the largest planet of the solar system. So the largest planet of the solar system is Jupiter. The next one, Saturn is the 6th planet from the sun and it is the second largest planet of the solar system. This Saturn has rings around it, and this makes it one of the distinct and beautiful planet of the solar system, which can be seen through a telescope. These rings around this Saturn are made up of dust, rocks and ice. Next, we will learn about Uranus. It is the 7th planet from the Sun and also 3rd largest planet of the solar system. Neptune is the 8th and the furthest planet of the solar system. It is the 4th largest planet. It also appears in blue, but it is not due to the presence of water in it, but due to the presence of methane gas inside it. The moon is the only natural satellite of the earth. Life is not possible on the moon as it doesn't have any water or atmosphere of its own. There are no clouds, rain, winds, etc. on the moon. We'll learn about asteroids. Asteroids are small rocky celestial bodies moving around the Sun between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Next, about meteoroids. Meteoroids are nothing but they are small rocky pieces which float freely around the Sun in outer space. Sometimes they come close to the Earth's surface. The last one is about comets. Comets have a long shining tail which is formed by clumps of ice, gas and dust. Halley's Comet is one such comet which was seen in 1986 and which will be visible after 76 years. Children, now we will see the question answers from the lesson The Earth and the Solar System. As usual, we will start with choose the correct answers. The first one, the average of the Sun from the Earth is 150 million kilometers. Which planet is closest to the Sun? Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. The planet which is also known as the morning or evening star is Venus. So Venus is also known as the morning or evening star. Fourth one, planet which is red in color due to the large presence of red oxides in its soil is Mars. So Mars is a planet which is red in color. It is due to the large presence of red oxides in its soil. Asteroid belt is found between Mars and Jupiter. Largest planet of the solar system is Jupiter. The planet which doesn't have any satellite is Mercury. The celestial bodies which have a long shining tails are comets. Fill in the blanks using the suitable answers. Dash is the closest star to our Earth. The Sun. The Sun is the closest star to our Earth. Dash is a very huge mass of gas and dust. Nebula. Nebula is a huge mass of gas and dust. Next one. Ursa Major is also known as Saptarishi. In Hindi it is called as Saptarishi. Meaning of Saptarishi is 7 sages. Next one. The Milky Way galaxy is also called as Akash Ganga. In Hindi it is called as Akash Ganga. Fifth one. Mercury takes 88 days to complete one revolution around the Sun. How many days? It takes 88 days to complete one revolution around the Sun. Sixth one, man-made satellites are also called as artificial satellites. So the satellites made by man are also called as artificial satellites. State whether true or false. Nebula is called the mother of all stars and celestial bodies. Answer is true. Mercury is known as the twin of the Earth. Answer is false. Earth moves around the Sun in clockwise direction. Answer false. Earth rotates on its axis in 365 1/4 days. Answer false. Movement of the Earth around the Sun causes eclipses. Answer true. Match column A with column B. Column A, Mars. The answer for Mars is red planet. From column B, the second one, that is red planet. Venus, answer is morning or evening star. Mars is the red planet. Venus is the morning or evening star. Jupiter is the largest planet of the solar system. Saturn is the most beautiful planet. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. Uranus is the third largest planet of the solar system. So the Mars, red planet. Venus, morning or evening star. Jupiter, largest planet. Saturn, most beautiful planet. Mercury, closest to the Sun. Uranus, third largest planet. Answer the following questions briefly. Take your notes with you and check whether the answers that I am dictating and the answers that you have written are correct or not. First one, define universe. Stars, sun, moon and everything around is called as universe. Second one, what are constellations? Give few examples. A group of stars forming different shapes are called constellation. For example, the Ursa Major, the Ursa Minor, etc. Third one, list 3 differences between planets and stars. Answer, planets are 8 in number whereas stars are innumerable. Stars have their own heat and light whereas planets don't have their own heat and light. Stars are stationary, which means not moving, whereas planets move around a star in an elongated or elliptical path. Fourth one, why is Earth called a geoid? Answer, Earth is called a geoid because it's slightly bulging in the middle and slightly flat at the top and bottom. Fifth one, what's the difference between the inner and the outer planets in the solar system? Answer, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars are called the inner planets and they are made of rocks, whereas the Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune are called outer planets and they are made of liquids and gas. Sixth one, why does Neptune appear blue in color? Answer, Neptune appears blue in color due to the presence of methane gas in it. Answer the following questions in detail. First question, what is the solar system? Write down the importance of the sun in our lives. Answer, the sun along with its 8 planets, that is Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune and Uranus and other natural objects moving around it are jointly referred as solar system. Importance of the sun in our lives is source of heat and light. Without it, life would not have been possible on Earth. Sun's energy causes season. It causes water and air currents which cause movements of weather. Sun's energy is the basic requirement in production of food by the planets. The next question, Earth is a unique planet. Explain. Earth is a unique planet because it has land, air and water. Life exists only on this planet. It's not too cold and not too hot. Presence of oxygen, nitrogen and carbon dioxide support life. Third one, why is life not possible on Earth's moon? Answer, life is not possible on Earth's moon as it doesn't have water. Surface is open and rough. It doesn't contain atmosphere so the sound cannot travel in it. Fourth one, what are planets? Name all the planets of the solar system. Answer, planets are celestial bodies which are solid in nature and revolve around a star. They move in a fixed path called the orbit, which is elongated. They don't have their own heat and light, but they reflect the light of the sun. They are of different sizes. Names of these planets of solar system are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Fifth question, discuss any 3 features of meteoroids and comets. Features of meteoroids are, they are small rocky pieces which float freely around the sun and sometimes when they enter the Earth's atmosphere, with friction they burn out and fall on the Earth and create a halo. Comets, they have a long shining tail which is formed by clumps of ice, gas and dust. Children, in your question paper, you will find part 4 is distinguish between the following. It's nothing but it is actually the differences between 2 different things. For example, if you are asked distinguish between planets and stars, then you will have to write the differences between planets and stars. Don't get confused and write properly in your exams. Read the question paper well and then answer. Please use unruled papers for your exams. As soon as you start writing, write your name, subject and the date, day of examination and what is the exam that you are writing. Use blue ink pen only. Draw finishing lines using scale and pencil. Attempt every questions. Please don't overwrite, children. Don't use whitener also. Avoid using whitener. Give a very neat presentation. Hope you all will do your best in the exam. Thank you all. We'll meet in the next session. Thank you.